Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to visit India after his visit to China. Foreign Minister Rana to finalize the agenda of China visit after consultation with the Premier. Demands for an open competition grow while appointing officials for corruption watchdog CIAA. Lawmakers say corruption cannot be controlled with authority entrusting former employees. 10 newborns dead in a massive fire in a neonatal unit of a medical college in Uttar Pradesh, India. Cause of the fire believed to be an electrical short circuit. And Nepal to play against Afghanistan in the Three Nations Cup underway in Tajikistan. The first match for the teams in 11 years. Match to kick off at 6:45 p.m. Nepal time. Minister for Foreign Affairs Arju Rana has said that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli will visit India after visiting China. Foreign Minister Rana, who is preparing for Prime Minister Oli's visit to China, said that the Premier will visit India soon while talking to reporters at Dhangadi yesterday. She informed that after the agenda of the Prime Minister's visit to China is decided by the Chinese side, Premier's visit to India will be finalized after discussions. Rana said that since both India and China are neighboring countries, balanced relations is essential.
छलफलको एजेन्डाहरु अब चाइनाको साइडले हामीलाई पठाउँदै छन् र हामीले पनि अस्ति भर्खर मन्त्रालयमा चाहिँ सम्पूर्ण नेपाल सरकारको अलग-अलग मन्त्रालयहरुले चाहिँ चाइनासँग कुन-कुन सहकार्यहरु गरिरहेको छ कुन-कुन अब सम्झौताहरु भएको छ त्यो सम्झौताहरु कहाँ पुगेका छन् भनेर अपडेट गर्यो अस्ति 27 गते र अब यसको चाहिँ अब मेरो मन्त्रालयको साथीहरुले यसमा होमवर्क गरिरहनु भएको छ.
General Secretary of CPNML Shankar Pokhrel said that a high level of understanding will be established between the two countries during the Premier's visit to China. He informed that during the visit, emphasis will be placed on the implementation of previous agreements. Prime Minister Oli is preparing to leave for China on 2nd of December. In order to make the public administration more accountable, the government is going to form a high-level government reform suggestion commission. The 53rd meeting of the National Development Problem Solving Committee will establish the commission to make public administration competent, fair, transparent, corruption-free and cooperative. The committee has instructed the Prime Minister's office to proceed with the process of formation of the Government Reform Suggestion Commission to provide equal access to public service delivery. The government is also going to amend the procedures of supplementary and special grants from the Center for Projects and Programs selected for the grant. To boost national priority projects, a new provision will allow provinces to approve projects up to 500 million rupees and local levels up to 150 million. The government also plans to amend electricity tariff regulations to offer discounted rates for industries concerned with agriculture, livestock, poultry, fisheries and sericulture sector. A demand has been raised in the Parliamentary Committee to arrange for the appointment of officials based on open competition to make the Commission for Investigation of Abuse of Authority CIAA a constitutional body that investigates corruption more fair. During the discussion on the bill to amend the CIAA Act 2048 in the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee of the Parliament, members of Parliament advocating for the amendment called for the introduction of a system that allows officials to be appointed through open competition. Lawmakers Bishwa Prakash Sharma from Nepali Congress and Sumana Shrestha from Rashtra Swatantra Party both argued that the current system of appointments by the Constitutional Council should be re-evaluated. CPNUML's Hemraj Rai also suggested that the investigation officers of the authority should be appointed through open competition. The members of the Parliament, in fact, emphasized that the authority should be equipped with more power and facilitate in controlling corruption. Nepal Oil Corporation has raised the prices for diesel and kerosene. The board's meeting yesterday decided to implement the new prices from today. Both the oil products for Group A will be available at the rate of 150.50 rupees per litre for those in Group A, 152 rupees for the second group and 153 rupees for the third group. The corporation has categorized Biratnagar, Janakpur, Amlekhganj, Bhalbari, Nepalganj, Dhangadi and Birganj in first group. Surkhet and Dang are placed in second and Kathmandu, Pokhara and Dipayal in the third. The prices have been revised as per Indian Oil Corporation's latest price list. Now, human-wildlife conflict has been rampant in Jhapa district. Farmers are struggling after wild elephants destroyed their crops. They have faced further hardships as government relief has been delayed. Despite ongoing damages to their crops by elephants from India, promised aid is delayed, undermining efforts to reduce conflicts between the locals and the wild animals.
A herd of wild elephants roams the Mechi region daily, especially when the crops start to ripen. In search of foods, the elephants cross into Nepal through Jhapa and wreak havoc on the fields. As a result, farmers in Mechinagar and surrounding areas often lose their rice crops to these elephants.
हात्तीले यत्रो बिमा गर्दियो कि यति बिमा गर्दियो अब यहाँ बाँच्ने आशा पनि निकै कम्ती पो भइरहेको छ सर यस्तै हो अब के भन्नु म त
कति क्षति भयो
खेती मेरो लगभग 60 मन धानको क्षति भयो अहिले
The suffering of the farmers when they cannot harvest the crops they have worked hard to grow is immense. To make matters worse, they suffer even more as government relief is delayed and often insufficient. Farmers are left to take matters into their own hands, trying to drive away the elephants that come solely for their crops. This often leads to human casualties from elephant attacks. To address this, a campaign has been launched to reduce conflict between the locals and wild elephants. Activists argue that the government should establish a dedicated fund to provide immediate compensation for the damages that are caused by elephants.
अहिले चाहिँ कार्यालयहरुमा चाहिँ डिभिजन वन कार्यालय झापामै चाहिँ यो राहत रकम चाहिँ पैसा पहिलो उसको लागि भनेर चाहिँ 70 लाख रुपैयाँ पैसा आथ्यो र त्यही पैसा हामीले रिलिज गरे हौं अब सायद यो वर्षदेखि पीडितहरूले हाम्रै कार्यालयबाट चाहिँ रकम भुक्तानी पाउनु हुने भन्ने हामीले
2 अरब रुपैयाँको चाहिँ कोष बनाइदियो त्यो 2 अरब रुपैयाँको कोषलाई चाहिँ अक्षय कोषमा राखियो भने वर्षको 20 देखि 24 करोड रुपैयाँ चाहिँ ब्याज मात्र प्राप्त हुन्छ त्यो 20 देखि 24 करोड रुपैयाँ हात्ती प्रभावित समुदायलाई हामीले चाहिँ क्षतिपूर्तिको रूपमा दियौं भनेदेखि जति क्षति भएको छ बीमा गर्ने बीमामा जति क्षति भएको छ 90% बीमाले कभर गर्छ त्यसबाहेकको रकम हामीले यो कोषबाट दियौं भनेदेखि किसानको चाहिँ जति क्षति भएको छ त्यसमा चाहिँ केही प्रतिशत बढाएर दिँदाखेरि पनि किसानहरुको चाहिँ किसानहरुलाई पैसा दिन पुग्छ.
Even the local government of the affected areas keep promising to address the damage suffered by the farmers from these elephants. However, such promises are limited to speeches so far.
क्षतिपूर्तिको बापतको रकम वितरण गरेर मात्रै यो समस्याको समाधान किसानको पीडा हामीले चाहिँ यो निर्मूल गर्न सक्दैनौं किसानको पीडामा मलम लगाउन सक्दैनौं राहत दिन सक्दैनौं त्यसो भएको हुनाले गर्दाखेरि दीर्घकालीन समाधानका निमित्त हामीले अनेक चरणमा अनेक किसिमका उपायहरू खोजिरहेका छौं.
All the local levels of Jhapa fall under the elephant affected areas. Wild elephants entering Nepal in search of food cannot be stopped. However, if relief distribution arrangements were made, livelihoods of these affected areas would sustain.
It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what should be done to prevent the weakening constitutional body that monitors governance? Your options are A, appointing qualified officials, B, end political interference, and C, strengthen laws. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to international update. 10 newborn babies died in a massive fire at Maharani Lakshmibai Medical College in Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh, India. The accident occurred when a fire broke out in a neonatal intensive care unit (NICU) of the hospital. According to Indian media, the accident took place last night at 11:30 local time. It is said that the main cause of the fire was an electrical short circuit. Before the fire, there were 55 children in the room. According to the local authority, 10 of them died at the site and 45 people were rescued from the incident site. It is said that 45 infants were taken out, but 16 infants were injured and are being treated. While informing about the incident, local police said that the fire suddenly broke out inside the oxygen concentrator, and despite efforts to extinguish the fire, it spread rapidly due to high amount of oxygen in the room. A committee has been formed to investigate the fire incident in the hospital. According to Indian media, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath expressed his grief to the families of those deceased and directed the inquiry committee to submit a report within 12 hours. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz called with Vladimir Putin, and it would open Pandora's box by undermining efforts to isolate the Russian leader. Zelensky said in his evening address that now there may be other conversations, other calls, just a lot of words, and this is exactly what Putin has long wanted. It is extremely important for him to weaken his isolation, he added. Scholz urged Russian President Vladimir Putin in the first phone call in nearly 2 years to pull his forces out of Ukraine and begin talks with Kiev that would open the way for a just and lasting peace. The Kremlin confirmed the conversation, which it said had came at Berlin's request, and said Putin had told Scholz any agreement to end the war in Ukraine must take Russian security interests into account and reflect new territorial realities. U.S. President Joe Biden met with Japan and South Korea's leaders as they sought to cement their diplomatic progress ahead of a new Trump administration that many fear could upend alliances worldwide. The meeting between Washington and two of its closest Asian allies came as U.S. relations with Beijing are expected to grow more confrontational after Donald Trump's 20th January inauguration, given his promises of sharp tariff hikes that could hobble China's economy. North Korea's deployment of troops to Russia to support Russia's war in Ukraine, as well as North Korea's nuclear weapons program and dimming prospects for a peaceful resolution to a decades-long conflict with South Korea are also raising tensions in Asia. The meeting on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Lima, Peru, brings Biden, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, and Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, who assumed office in October, together in person for the first time. They are announcing the creation of a secretariat for the three countries to formalize the relationship and to make sure it's just not a series of meetings, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters on Thursday. Getting South Korea and Japan to work together is considered one of the diplomatic achievements of Biden's soon-to-end four-year term as U.S. president. The two countries have a long history of mutual acrimony stemming from Japan's harsh 1910 to 1945 colonial rule of Korea. Biden sees close ties among three as a hedge against aggressive steps by China in the region, a view Beijing has rejected. Yoon met with Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday, while Ishiba and Biden were set to hold their own one-on-one with Xi during the APEC summit. Trump's commitment to the trilateral work has been an open question in the region, given the president-elect's America First approach, suspicion of U.S. financial and military support for traditional allies, and his own diplomatic foray into North Korea during his first four-year term. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.